So I took off the keyboard and connected just the membrane, and now it actually seems to be okay. Yeah, if I touch the pads on the keyboard, it actually worked just fine. So what I think happened is when I pulled out the little springs on each key, some of them got prolonged, I guess, and thus are making contact to some of the keys. So we'll go through those now and see what I can do. Yeah, and I can see now that a couple of the springs are too long, so I'll try to remove those and see if that helps. That indicates that it was not a good idea to pull out those springs, but you learn as you go. Alright, so I think I got it working now. Yeah, I took out some of the springs, and I also pushed on every spring to get them further down to the key, and now it seems to be working. Nice. I have started the assembling of the machine just to make it ready for some testing. I'm gonna attach the keyboard, but I'm not gonna screw it to the case yet, because I want to test the machine first. Flimsy flat cables break easily. So that was the assembling. So now I'm excited to test if the floppy drive is working or not. I've turned on the machine, and the only floppy disk I actually got for this machine is this one that came with the machine. It seems to have some games, Covenant, Jack and the Beanstalk, Killer Gorilla. It is a little bit dirty, but yeah, I'm gonna test it. So let me type the cat command. Yes, it actually worked. Nice. And the content is just some disk.bus. Let me try run disk. Hey! Well, look at that. Computer hits side B. Press any key for your selection. Okay, so it is actually the games. Let's try Covenant. So, sorry about filming the CRT. That is never a good outcome. So, but I adjusted the camera now, so it is fairly okay, I think. And the floppy is loading. So I haven't connected any joystick, so I'm gonna use a keyboard. Select 2, 0 commands. Alright, it crashed. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around the floppy, see what's on the other side. Ah, there's Gauntlet, so there is a few good games on this one. A, C and shift. Oh, alright. Well, this isn't that Gauntlet after all. So how do you play? Alright, that was really good. I'm really happy that it actually worked after recapping and fixing the drive belt. However, since I only have one floppy for this machine, I really want to test out some other games as well, but how do I run them? Well, I have this Gotek drive, which is actually a floppy drive emulator that can be used on many different systems, from PCs to Amigas, and also on this machine. And it runs flash floppy firmware, and I have actually updated to the latest firmware now. So my plan was actually to connect it to the external floppy port on the back side of the machine, but for that I actually need a special cable, because it's not the standard floppy drive connector contact on the Amstrad. It is actually just, yeah, I'm not really sure what you would call it, but it's just an edge connector you need. And as it turns out, I actually got this cable lying around. It has edge connector, 2 actually connected, and also the regular floppy drive connector on the other end. So I think this will work. But I need to power the Gotek with 5 volts, and for that I actually just thinking about doing the easiest thing. Just connect some DuPont wires to 5 volts and ground, and get the external USB power supply for this. This will be a temporary solution anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to do anything special to get 5 volts out of the machine. So I just connect it up with these alligator clips. I just put a little tape on the ground cable here. So when I connect the 5 volts now, it should boot the flash floppy. Yeah, FF flash floppy. And it will detect some disk images if you have a USB drive, and I have one here with 7 or 8 disk images for Amstrad. So let's see. So this is not the advanced version of the Gotek where you have a OLED display that displays the name of the files. This one just has a counter, so you switch up and down between the images you have on the drive. So let's see if I can hook this up. Just connect the Gotek, and then I just connect the end, and it is supposedly compatible, only that the contact should be turned around. Now I'm not 100% sure this will work, but I read that if you connect it the wrong way, then the A floppy drive will not work, because they share the same signals, and some of the pins will then be tied to ground. So, but anyway, I'm gonna turn it on now and start by turning on the flash floppy or Gotek. Well, it says something RIB. Not really sure what that means, but I haven't turned on the machine, so yeah, gonna do that. Turns on at least. But the A drive is not responding, so then maybe it was the wrong way around after all. Turning it around and connect it again. Alright, so now actually the Gotek started normally, and I can try and turn on the machine. And the A seems to be working. Yes, A drive is working. So now, how do we change to the B drive? The way you change to the B drive is to type the pipe character and then B. So it says drive B, disk missing. Well, then we have to investigate some more. Alright, so I did a little more research, and it actually turns out that I need to change jumper setting. There's some jumpers here that is used to configure different types of hardware. Actually, no, it's set to, last time I used it on an Amiga, so I'm gonna place this. It says to use S1 jumper, which is this one. So let me see if I can zoom in a bit on these jumpers, and yeah, there you go. It is set to S1. So let's see now. Gotek is starting. Okay, I'm gonna issue the command to change to drive B. Yes, ready. That worked. Fantastic. Cat. All right, Cauldron, yeah. Cauldron is one of the games I added to the USB drive, and yeah, I'm gonna test it now. So I didn't anticipate it to be that easy to hook it up, but thanks to me having this cable lying around, this actually originates from my Tiki 100 machine. That is actually a old machine from the 80s that I have made a video about before, and without that cable I would have to make one, but that shouldn't be too complicated if you have this type of edge connector, and if you have a floppy cable like that. So let's try to run this Cauldron. Not found. Maybe you have to type out the whole thing, or can you just type run? No. Run. Boss. So I finally managed to write the correct command. I'm gonna turn down the lights a little bit. Okay. This time I hooked up a joystick. Joystick works. This is an excellent game. I used to play on the Commodore 64 back in the day. However, I don't remember now how to play it. All right, shooting. Whoops. All right, I died. Nice. So now if I want to switch to another floppy, then I just select, for example, number 2. I guess these are sorted alphabetically from the file name that's actually onto the drive, but I'm not really sure. So let's see what's number 2. Okay, that's commando. Oops, did not work. Now the commando doesn't seem to want to load, because when you run the commando boot program, it can't find the different bin files. So yeah. So I'm going to change to image number 3 and then see what's on there. Paperboy. Oops. Well, that was a little bit strange. Seems like the refresh rate or some sync signal is out of sync here. So that might be due to something with the refresh rate of the monitor. So I hooked up my LCD TV and connected with the cable. Okay, that's much better. It runs a little slow. Now it's improving. Oh, you can, of course, you can slow down if you want. So I did a little research, and it actually turns out that many games are designed to run only from disk A or drive A, so it's kind of hard-coded what kind of floppy drive A or B they actually use. And there is no solution for that. Either you have to have the Gotek as drive A, or you can do a mod to the computer that involves cutting some trays on the motherboard and attaching a few wires and a switch. Then you can switch between A and B. It's called like the ABBA mod. But I'm not gonna do that now because that's out of the scope for this video. Maybe in a later video I'll take a look at that. Anyway, let's try this one, Prince of Persia. Seems like there's a trainer. All right, Prince of Persia. Okay, nice. Turn up the volume a bit. It's probably over 20 years since I played this game. Oops. Dead. Alright, that's enough of the games. Now I actually want to try something else. And the thing with this CPC 6128 that distinguishes it from like the 464 is that it is actually capable of running CPM. And CPM is an old operating system, and I actually got the floppies for CPM here. It says Amsoft, Amstrad CPM Plus System Utilities, and yeah. So I'm gonna test this now. And these are brand new floppies, unopened. I actually purchased from English seller on eBay. So let's see what's on side 1 here. So there's a lot of different programs. Just a little bit of information about the CPM operating system. It is an old system that was actually created back in 1974 by Gary Kildall of Digital Research. And it was made for the Intel 8088 based microcomputers that was around at that time. But the CPM could also run on Zilog Z80 processor systems since the Z80 was compatible with the 8080 code. The operating system consists of 3 main components. First is the basic I/O system, which is the BIOS. Then it has a disk operating system and a file system. And thirdly, it has a console command processor. CPM file system actually uses the well-known 8.3 file naming format, same as MS-DOS used, and also the numbering of the drives as letters A and B, for example. And this you can still find as a legacy even in Windows, modern Windows operating system. Yeah, it actually has. So that's cool. What else can we do? Palette. No color. Alright. Disk kit 3. One drive found. So this seems to be a disk utility. Copy, format, verify. And I actually took out the Gotek drive now, so that's why it sees only one drive. Now I switch to the other side and let's see what's on that. Yeah, different kinds of utilities. This seems like programming utilities. Linker, ASM. Yeah, it actually says on the floppy programming utilities. So I'm not gonna wander into programming CPM, not at this time, maybe some other time if I get the energy to start studying that. So I'm inserting the other floppy now. AMS-DOS, what's that? Okay, so now it actually went back to basic, yeah. What about side 4 on this set of disks? No, here's no cat command here, I forgot, dir. So here's logo. Welcome to logo. Isn't this like a drawing with commands, like move 10? Pen 3. Help. What about help? I have used the logo before, some 30 years ago. Yeah, it is commands to draw fill 100. So apparently forward is FD, so FD 10. Okay, now we got the little turtle. FD 50. Then I want to go right 45 degrees, right 45, and then forward again 50. Then I want to go right 45 again, forward, and then I want to go right 90 degrees and then forward 100. Nice. Now I figured out what the pen color. Set PC and then with the angle brackets. I think. No, it didn't like that. No, I just clear the screen with the CS command, and you can command, you can have different commands after each other. So let's see, forward 100, right 45. Yeah, and you can have like loops and things. So if we now say forward 100. So now I actually found out how you can set the color, set PC for set pen color, and then I just enter the number didn't like 4, but it did like 2, so 1, 0, 3. There's red, all right. Seems to be a little bit limited in the commands, this version. Should be able to fill with the current color, but nope. Let's see if it has the repeat. So it's supposedly gonna repeat 4 times if you type it like this, and then the command forward 100, no, let's say 50, then left and 90. Yes, it actually did work. And it actually has arithmetics and things like that, so you can make pretty powerful programs that draws on the screen, but well, how useful is it today? I remember they used to teach this at the elementary school back in the 80s, but I never learned it. Alright, that was enough with playing with the CPM and logo on this Amstrad, and back to a little game. And this seems to be a little Donkey Kong clone. I really like the Amstrad machines, and I really would like to do more videos in the future about Amstrads. Anyway, that was it for this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and you will get notified when the next video is coming. Thanks a lot to my patrons and my viewers. See you next time. Bye bye.